radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men. Hello, and welcome to another awesome episode of the Wrecking Trade. I don't know what's happening right now. To the Wrecking Trade. I'm Robert Lynch, and boy, do we have an incredible show prepared for you. Already the topic has been causing a stir. But before we jump into it, because I have an awesome guest with me, before we jump into it, let me just remind you to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so that you can know whenever we go live and be able to participate in awesome conversations like these. And remember, hitting that like button is not just giving us a thumbs up, it's actually how we let YouTube know that the conversations that we have here matter, and then the algorithm can share it with persons like you. And as you're getting yourself settled in, grab yourself a drink because it's going to be a ride. Remember to share the link with someone you know who you believe this conversation may be able to help them. And with that, let me just welcome my guest, and of course we have our standard 5 questions. Please share with us. Are you ready with me?
Yes, I am.
All right. So share with me your name, your age, what do you do for work, your highest education level completed, and of course, your relationship status. All right, so let's start off with your name.
My name is Jodianne Samuels. I am 31 years of age. I have an high school level education. And I am not married, but I am currently in a relationship.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much for that. And just off the top, before we get into today's video that we're going to be able to review together, what do you think about the topic? What comes to mind as you?
For sex and weapon to be in one sentence is kind of odd because weapon is used as an advantage against the opposite opponent, or whatever you want to call it. So of course it's odd, and even though it is, we both women and men tend to use sex as a weapon. So yeah, I believe that we use it as a weapon to have an advantage of the opposite sex.
Okay, so who do you think is more likely to use as a weapon?
Of course women do that more than men.
all right. Thank you for your honesty, Jody. And with that, let's jump into today's video.
We are going to talk sex. His need, ladies, not your weapon. Let's talk about the males and how they need sex. Now, when I say need, I truly mean need. It's something that's inbred in their DNA. It's not a want. It's not something that they get excited about and want to have once in a while. It is something that helps them function. It is something that helps them move, feel better. It's a need for them. Now, society has made it socially acceptable for men to be able to do a lot with sex. We all know that according to society, a man can be more promiscuous. Let's just say it out loud. A man can be more promiscuous than a woman. He's taught from the time that he's a teenager, talking to his boys, they're talking about girls. And then he goes and talks to a grown man or his uncle, his dad, and something like that. And they tell him to go out and get a bunch of what? Sex. Socially acceptable. Imprinted in his DNA. Now, when he chooses to have a girlfriend, to have a lady, to have a woman, to have a wife, and you decide that now I love you and I'm not gonna have sex with you no more. Ladies, you have just completely jacked up his whole world. He don't understand that. Why wouldn't you want to give him any? Why wouldn't you want to have sex? Some of the reasons that we don't want to have sex.
Why don't we, or why wouldn't we want to have sex? Because we know, as she said, we know it's a need, right? It's a need for men, as we need to eat food. Sex is like that for men, and because we are aware of that, we use it as a weapon. We use it to get whatever it is that we want. It's as an advantage.
So why do you do that? If you understand, I mean, she told you, or she told us, and we understand that, hey, this is how he has a need. Would you send your boyfriend, your person out there hungry?
Of course not. I would not. I wouldn't send my boyfriend out there hungry, but at the end of the day, men are stronger in so many ways than women. This is the only thing we have. This is the only thing we have to use against them.
So why is even the conversation about using things against them? And I
That's what I'm
appreciate you
saying.
saying that because,
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty, being able to say, yeah, we do use it
Yeah,
against
we
us.
do use it. Because if I'd say we don't, then I would be lying. Because we do. We use it as a weapon. And as I said earlier, to say a weapon, it's hard to say because you should not be using weapon and sex in one sentence. So I cannot deny it. I can only be honest.
Okay.
I can only be honest.
So you're recognizing then that even though you're using this as a weapon, and what you've said is there's not a lot that you can use.
Yes.
So this is what you have available. So you think, okay, fine, we're going to use it. But what do you think that does to him?
I mean, when you think about it, that's one of the reasons why a lot of men go out there as well. Because if you're refraining from having sex with your partner, which is a need, it's something that they have to have, and you're not giving it to them, then of course, what we expect. So, in everything in society, and men go out there in the household not having fathers and all of these things, it might come from just that simple thing, just using sex as a weapon. So I don't know, I guess we put ourselves at a disadvantage.
And I'm glad you said that. I'm saying you're recognizing that this is the way you're trying to get power. But if you're trying to get power over this man, then you're making him weaker.
Yeah.
You're making him less than. And how does that help you at the end of the day?
It doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, and I wouldn't say, because I don't want it to be one-sided, right? Because a lot of times, even though we do it, whether we know it or not, whether we know that we're doing this thing, I wouldn't want to know that I am not giving my partner what he needs, and then he goes there and get it. So at every step of the way, I try my very best. I try, as I said, I try not to use it. But at the end of the day, I guess it's just like how men need sex. It's something that we do naturally without even knowing that we're doing it.
Fair enough, and I appreciate you saying that, and that's what we're going to talk about today in this video, in terms of how are some of the ways that you may be doing that unintentionally, and at the end we're going to talk about some things that you could do instead to actually help both of you. So with that, let's keep rolling.
Some of the reasons that we don't want to have sex is because I'm mad at him. I don't want to give him nothing. Let's talk about that. So, he did something wrong to you, and right now you're not emotionally feeling him. Let's even say he apologized to you. In his eyes, his apology meant that he squashed it. He apologized. And you said that you forgive him. But yet, you still don't want to be intimate with your man. Notice I say your man, because this is your man, right? That you don't want to share your body with. That he needs to have to feel valuable, to feel accepted. It's a form of acceptance to him when his woman chooses to have sex with him, when she chooses to want to have sex with him. So now you're saying, I'm mad, I'm emotionally not there. Well, ladies, I just want to tell you, you need to get it together. You need to emotionally get your connection back together, because at this particular point, it's not him, it's you.
True.
He said, I'm sorry. You said you forgave him. So now what's the problem? The longer you hold on to not giving him sex, the longer you're putting a separation between you two. Because sex is a form of communication. It's a form of communication that draws him closer to you, that draws you closer to him. He needs it. It's a way that he talks to you. It's a releaser for him. Stresses. We never know what our men go through in any given day. They're not going to tell us everything. So when he comes in and he's stressed, and you can just see the stress on him, or he's quiet, he's drawn back, sometimes you might be able to help him. You might be able to help release what he has going on. Ever thought about it like that?
And with that, we'll pause.
It's empowering to him, lady.
I mean, I completely agree with what she said, because I see it that way as well. And because of that, I don't use it for very long. It's not used for extended periods of time. As a matter of fact, I can't use it for long. I can't help. but to not use it. So even though I try, it doesn't always work. It doesn't work for me because, as you said, it's a language. It's how we communicate. And if we're not communicating, then what are we doing? You know. So I agree with what she's saying. There's no disagreement with what she said there.
You said right there that you use it sometimes, and again, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unintentionally, but you don't use it for an extended period of time. What do you consider to be an extended period of time? Let's see if that aligns with what men consider to be an extended period of time.
Men consider one night an extended period of time. That's what I would think. So, and for me, I cannot go very long. I can't go 2 days, especially if my partner comes to me in that manner. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna shun my partner and say, oh no, or anything like that. So I'm not on for that. I'm not on that. So I'm not the one who is going to refrain, like, oh no, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Yes, I'm not that partner.
So you're not the one who goes, hey, I'm upset.
Yeah, no, I'm not, and I accept an apology. So and once you can see where you're wrong and say okay, then because it's communication. Communication clears everything. And once we have the hair clear, then why refrain?
So let me ask you that because you said it right. You said once you can see where you're wrong.
Yeah, once you can see where you're
What
wrong,
if you don't see where you're wrong?
then it go.
And that's the question, because sometimes you cannot believe that you're wrong, and then what do you do then?
I'll try to let you see. I'll try to show you where you went wrong in my eyes, because sometimes you can't say you're wrong as a person and you can't see where you went wrong. And if I can point out the areas where I believe that, okay, then this is where you went wrong, and I can't, of course I might feel some kind of way within that moment, but if you can't see where you're wrong, you just can't see where you're wrong. How long can I refrain from having sex with you for? Because you can't see where you did something wrong, and we're in a relationship. We have to compromise.
And that's so powerful, because that's the part that we miss sometimes. Sometimes we think that we're carrying this grudge. We're supposed to resolve the problems overnight, but we haven't resolved them. They've been running for a week. In that moment, are you able to go, hey, you know what? I know I'm still upset, but he still has a need. Just like, even though we're upset, we still need to eat food.
Yeah.
Even though we're upset, we still need to have sex.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah. I can look past that.
And make sure that we're having that communication,
Yes.
because in and of itself, the sex, as she said.
And just the sex in itself clears all of that too sometimes. Because all of the animosity that is built up from whatever dispute we might have had, the sex alone clears all of that. Even forgot that you had a dispute. So it's very important.
Ladies, and you hear Jody telling you. So what we're talking about here is real things.
Yeah.
All right, let's get right into it.
Empowering to him, ladies. It can make him feel like he can go out and conquer the world. Helping him start his day, end his day, middle of the day. However you feel, do it. Go out and do it. Let him know you love him in the way that he needs to be loved. Let him know that you, his woman, care for him in the way that he naturally, inbred it in his DNA, needs to be loved. It's not a weapon for you to hold on to and you're going to give it to him and you're going to ration it out when you want to. That won't end up ending the way that you think it will. Now let's talk.
So right there. So immediately as you heard that, I noticed that you had a response, and I heard that I realized that throughout this video you've had a couple of responses where I saw you fold your arms one time. And what's going on for you as you're listening to this?
No, I mean, because there are sometimes there are things that you don't think about until another person says it. So I mean, a lot of things that she's been saying in the video, you know, you have to really think about it and analyze where you might have been doing that thing. You know, and see where it's not, you're not supposed to be doing that. It's not right, you know. So I get what she's saying. So that's why my reaction is like that.
Perfect. I wonder if we can run that again, because I think she put some powerful gems in there, and we want to just be able to unpack that a little bit again, so that we can truly, really appreciate the position that men are in and why this idea of sex as a weapon is so dangerous, not just for us as individuals, but for us as a couple as well. Madam Producer?
Needs to be loved. It's not a weapon for you to hold on to and you're going to give it to him and you're going to ration it out when you want to. That won't end up ending the way that you think it will.
So she said rationing it out when you need and that's the idea. Sometimes when you go, because I'm upset or because I don't feel like it, because I have a headache, it's you again, like you said, taking the power and deciding, no, you can't have any today. Okay, here's a little bit today. No, you can't have any today.
And when she says, and when she said that won't end well, a lot of times I've experienced that where it builds such an animosity within my relationship, withholding sex from my partner, and what's the word I would use? I wouldn't want to say furious. I wouldn't want to say it's furious not getting sex, but it comes with a lot of negative energy that you really don't want within a relationship, and it drags that because you're refraining from having sex, and it extends and expand the situation more than what it really actually is. So she has a valid point when she say it turned out to be more than what you actually intend for it to be.
And that's so powerful, because if the idea is sex is that release for the man, she mentioned earlier that, hey, you might not know what his tensions are, what he's been through, all the things that are going through, and so he has all of this built up negative energy from the day, and he's looking to you now for that connection, to find that peace, to find that in your arms he can just take off his armor, but then you go, nope. What are we doing to the man?
It's devastating.
It's what a powerful word. Devastating. I mean, you're essentially wounding him. He's coming home, he's being beaten and battered by the rest of the world, and looking to connect with you.
Where he's supposed to be getting comfort, he's being shunned and so what he's saying. Yeah, what she's saying. So
I see you holding your head.
Because this is something that I do, like. It's a thing that we do as women, as I said earlier on in our conversation. We do it, even though sometimes we might not do it intentionally, but it's something that we do as women. We do it a lot, actually. We do it quite a lot.
So we're drawing weapons regularly.
Yes.
So I see conviction happening. I see, like, hey, you need to change your ways.
You need to change your ways.
All right. So hopefully by the end of this program, your ways would have been changed.
There's a lot of thinking to do, man.
A lot of thinking to do. All right, let's jump right into it.
Now let's talk second point. I'm tired. I got the kids. I got work. I got this. I got church. I got that. Understandable. I got 2 kids myself. Run a whole business. I get tired. But I made a commitment to love somebody. I made a commitment that I want a loving relationship. So in my commitment of having a loving relationship, I have to communicate love in the form of intimacy, if I'm tired or not. Now, I don't know about you, but I heard that sex, when you actually have it, the connection in itself gives you energy. It gives you life. So you may start tired, but once you get into the act, you're going to feel a whole lot better. Now, mind you, don't get into it and just give them, I think I heard lazy booty.
Yeah, those dry sauces.
Lazy booty men can tell. They don't really want it. They'll take it because it's probably been like something stupid, like 2 weeks to a month since you've actually done it.
Who does that?
But
though?
Ladies, it shouldn't be that long. I think men have about a 3-day span where they just get to the point where they're irritated now, they frustrated. I've even seen men whole personality change because they ain't got none. You can kind of tell.
That's true.
3-day span is the longest that you should be going without loving on your man. And hear me say, loving on your man, because it's a form of love for him. Again, communication, empowering. You're accepting him. His lady wants to have sex with him. There's nothing bigger to a man than a woman that actually desires him, that wants to be with him. You all complain about men looking at other women or men getting excited when another woman looks at him. She's desiring him. She's showing him he's accepted. She's wanting him. Are you wanting him? Are you desiring him? Are you showing him that you love him in the form of intimacy? Because you can't get mad at him for something that you're not doing. You can't get mad at him because you're claiming that you're always tired and he go out and get that from somewhere else. Now, mind you, I'm not condoning him going somewhere else. I'm just helping you come to grips with how you're helping cause that and how you can fix it. It's really simple. You love him anyway, right?
All right, and we pause right there. So anything that jumped out at you from there? I do notice, the audience may not have seen when she said that person's not having sex for 2 weeks or a month. You're like, who does that?
Yeah, because this is a long period of time to not give your partner what he needs, because it's a need. I just said 3 days is the most, and I think that's still a lot too, because I've never actually refrained from having sex with my partner for 3 days. That's a lot. That's a long time. So who goes a week and a month without having sex with their partner?
It's a good question, right? And here's the thing. What is it that causes you to want to hold on to that connection, want to be able to recognize that, hey, this is a need for him and it's a need for our relationship? How do you work through that in your head?
How do I go again?
How do you work through that in your head to say, hey, or I mean, from time to time you'll have these conversations and persons will go, she mentioned, hey, you have a headache, or we had a fight, or persons will give different reasons.
Acknowledging that it's a need, because if you don't acknowledge that this is a need, then you'll feel like it's okay to refrain, because if you don't know that it's actually something that you need, then you're not going to see the need to do it, if you get what I'm saying. So if you don't acknowledge that it's a need, then you're going to be able to go a week and a month without doing it.
Oh, perfect. And so there's a woman watching right now. She's looking at the screen and she's saying, but my head is hurting, or the kids, I am overwhelmed, or all of these things. Are there valid reasons to withhold?
No, they're not. They're not valid reasons, because at the end of the day, as she said, if you're not giving your partner what he needs and he goes out there, then it's going to be another issue. So why not prevent that from happening by just having sex with your partner to not cause another, even if not a even worse issue than what you have in your household when your partner go outside of your relationship.
And I guess if you've connected it to need, hey, if you wouldn't send him out there hungry, then why would you send him out there, in need, when you know that there are other women out there who want to give him food?
Exactly. Who looks at him like a snack. Like, so, yeah. I just said other women are going to be looking at him. There are other women who's going to be throwing themselves at him, because women do these things as well. So if you're sending him out there with this need, with this hunger, he's going to want to feast. Right? So you can't blame them. As she said, she's not condoling it, but you can't blame them if they go out there to get what they need. Can't blame them.
So if I hear what you're saying, then you're saying if a woman allows that to happen, then she's actually putting him in danger, putting him at risk, and thereby putting their whole relationship
at risk. Of course, yeah, she is doing so if she's refraining from having sex for a week and a month. That's crazy. That's just crazy. I don't agree with that at all.
Look at them and tell them
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all, girls. Ladies, no.
So what does she need to do? Stop it!
Stop! You need to stop.
All right, let's continue.
Last but not least, let's talk sympathy sex. That's my name for it. I made it up. I'm going to call it sympathy sex. Sympathy sex is when you really don't feel like it, really don't want to, and you just lay in the bed, do whatever. Who wants to be desired like that? You don't even want to be desired like that. You don't want him to do something like that to you.
A reaction to that. Are you guilty of some sympathy sex?
Yes, I am actually. I am, and I should say you don't want that for yourself. So, and it's true, I don't want that, because I am furious if that happens. Like, why am I getting sympathy sex? You don't want me, you don't like me, you don't love me. Forget what I'm saying. So, and we do it, and it, as she said, they might take it anyways because it's a need for them, but there is no attraction to sympathy sex. So what are you offering at the moment? What are you really offering?
So to answer that question, let me put it back to you to go. So why do you do it? Why do you allow that to happen?
As I said earlier, sometimes you do these things and you don't even realize what you're doing. Because if she didn't really point it out just now, I probably wouldn't have thought about it in that way. So we do these things and not know that we're doing them unknowingly. a lot of times.
So you may find yourself in a situation where hey, the sympathy sex is happening. You didn't realize it the whole time, but now you're realizing it. What does that realization do for you? Does it tell you that
awareness? I guess
I'm gonna change it.
It's gonna cause me to pay attention more. That's what it's gonna cause, and then hopefully try to change it. Because I'm not gonna say, of course, it's gonna change. It's not gonna change right away. But once you practice something, right? Of course, it's gonna automatically come in place. So. It's going to cause me to think about it, of course, and then try to adjust that in whichever way I can.
Okay, so if there's a woman who's watching and she's found herself guilty of some sympathy sex and doing some of the things that we've talked about today, what would you say to her?
As I said, as the same thing I would do, you know. Think about it and practice not to do it as much as you can. Even though we don't control our own feelings, we don't have control of our emotions, right? And most of the times when we're giving sympathy sex is because we're either upset, tired, I should say, or having a headache. I would just do it because we know that it's a need for you guys. We just have to acknowledge that what we're doing at the moment is not very appealing and try to adjust that.
And then, so going forward, then how would you change it in your head? Because here's the thing, and if I bring it back to food, if you know he likes a nice home cooked meal, but because you're tired, you just throw him some crackers and some cheese. Right? I mean, he's gonna eat it because he's hungry, but that's not something that makes him want to come home in the evening because he's not looking forward to crackers and cheese. What would you do to help you to get your head in that space so that you can shift away from the sympathy and you get engaged so he can fully, yes, I love the meal that she prepared for me?
I mean, I'm not sure what I would be able to do because at the end of the day, as she said, men like to be wanted. They like to lay on their back and get all of this loving. I don't know why they feel as if they're the only one who wants to be loved or feel wanted. Not that they don't know that we want to feel loved or whatever, but they make it seem like it's one-sided most of the times, right? So if you come now as my partner, right, and you want to have sex with me in that moment where I might be upset or tired or whatever the case may be, there are things that you can do towards the partner as the male to drive me to do whatever it is that you like within our sex life, right? So if I am upset, there's things that you can do towards the male to make it make me more enthused to want to have sex with you.
All right. So without getting too explicit, what are some of the things that a man could do?
Foreplay is everything within sex, and no matter how I'm speaking for myself here, everybody. No matter how upset I am, once foreplay starts, all of that fades away because I'm caught up in all of what's going on within that moment. So, and I'm not someone that dwells. I don't dwell on stuff very long, and I don't hold a grudge. So for me, it's very easy to come out of that mood. So it's not gonna be very hard for me.
And again, without getting too explicit, because sometimes when we think about foreplay, we think about immediately getting right to it or getting to the erogenous zones and doing those things. But what are some of the things that, before we actually get to sex proper, or before we get to sexual encounters, what are some things that you might consider foreplay that might be useful to you?
I love to kiss. Kissing is one of the main things for foreplay. For me, I express love by touch. Just gentle touch. So it doesn't have to be anything explicit or anything outrageous or anything like
touching your
that.
face.
Yeah, for me it's very simple. It's very easy for me.
What about words? Are there things that one can say? I mean, again, without getting too explicit, what are some things? Because you're vexed and he's gonna come home and say, can we have sex? I'm imagining that's not gonna do it for you.
No, that's not gonna work for me at all. It's not. You have to start letting me know now how you feel about me with your words, if that's the case. If you're gonna use words, then let me know how you feel about me, and then that's it's gonna break the walls down. It's gonna slowly but surely the walls are going to come down with the words by telling me how you feel towards me, and then
telling you you're attractive.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He loves you. He appreciates you. Like, what are some things? Like, maybe some things that you do well. But
yes.
help me. Teach me.
So you want me to get? You want me to?
Yeah, without getting again
Yes.
explicit. Just kind of
Yeah.
help some of the men who are watching to be able to. Okay, so these are some things that I can say. It's not just come in and say, "Babe, I want some sex." No.
That's so irritating.
There you go.
Like, that is so irritating, especially knowing that I am not in the mood right now. Why would you just come and tell me you want some sex? Like, that's crazy. But words.
What would you need to hear to help you to transition, to help you to bring down those defensive walls, those anger walls to go? Or what?
Touch more works for me.
Touch more works
Yeah.
for you. Okay.
Touch more works
So
for me.
touch your face.
Yeah.
Hold your hands.
Yeah. Touch more works for me. I mean, I'm not as much as chatty as I am right now. When it comes to that part of my relationship, I'm not very chatty. I'm not a chatty.
No long talking.
Yeah. I'm not a very chatty person. So just touching me on my neck or wherever in my back, whatever places I like to be touched will indicate that, okay, then, I want some sex.
Okay.
So then we have to say, oh, I love you, or you're pretty, or any of these words. That's just for me. Touch works for me.
Even when you're upset?
Yeah, I express love by touch. Yeah, of course. Even when I'm upset, I'm not gonna shun you or shake you off or anything like that. I'm not that person. So I'm not going to do that. It's not hard to come to me as a partner if I'm upset, because I'm not gonna embarrass you in any way. Even if, no matter how mad I am, I'm not going to do that. So it's easy to come to me with a touch or whatever it is.
That's interesting. This is not in the video. We were going to talk about this today, but because you said it, let me just raise it. What do you think is the single most important thing to a man?
In regards to?
In regards to just him being a man, in regards to you being a part of his life, what do you think is the single most important thing to him? I mean, you kind of said it right there, but...
I think the single most important thing to a man in a relationship?
Yes.
Being a man, feeling like they're playing the masculine role, I guess. I'm not sure what you're looking for.
I like that you went there playing the masculine role, and I guess I'm trying to have you unpack what the masculine role means to you.
Oh, okay. I mean, masculinity means different things for different men. Because for my partner, being masculine is being able to provide whatever it is that you might need as a woman, and you're not having to go out there elsewhere or whatever. That's what masculinity means to my partner. So for different persons it varies.
Actually, it's the same pretty much for most men, and what you've just basically unpacked is respect. And that respect of knowing that, hey, he's providing for you and you don't have to go anywhere, because when you have to go someplace else, it's like he becomes a little bit smaller.
Yes.
So he's losing respect.
Yes.
And you just mentioned that he can always come to you. That means no matter what the situation is, even when you're upset, you're still providing that respect.
Yes.
Perfect. Powerful. So let's see. So no sympathy sex. That's off the table.
That's off the table.
Let's continue.
So why would you do that to him? He can tell, ladies. We may be more emotionally connected, but that's their language. Most of the men, if you were to give them the quiz on the 5 love languages, all of them have sex. They have something else, but all of them, probably 95%, have sex as a love language. Physical touch, touching, rubbing, caressing, sex, intimacy. It's important. So sympathy sex, you can keep it. It's not even necessary. Do it better. Do it better. And I'm not gonna say don't do it at all, because you need to do it. Just do it better. Get cute. We get all dainty and cute to go out in public and look at the world. And you come home, you roll your hair up, you put on bonnets, you put on big old pajamas and all this stuff because you want to be comfortable.
Let's see if we can pause.
But you're
right
at home.
Again, I saw the reaction. Were you convicted again?
No, because I mean, it's true in a sense, because if you're going out on the road, right? yes, other persons, you're presenting yourself to the outside world. You don't feel the need because you already have your partner within your household and whatever. I guess you don't feel the need to doll up for your partner because I guess your partner already knows. And I'm just thinking, I'm trying to strip it down here. You don't feel the need to do all of that because your partner already knows. But if you're going out on the road, you feel like you have to put your best face, your best clothes, all of these lovely things outside of your house.
So let's unpack that, because I guess you mentioned that and you're thinking about that from a female perspective. But how does he feel about that when every day, you wake up in the morning and you get dressed and you put on your best and you put on your best face and your best clothes and you make sure everything looks good for your co-workers and the other men out the street, and I've gone to work all day, right? Work on construction site with tough men and whatever it is, and then come back home, and rather than seeing a soft, nice figure all dolled up for me, I see a big old 90 and tired.
I mean, I'm not a big old 90 person, but I mean, I don't put my best when I'm home. I don't do as much as I would do if I'm going out on the road, because I said I don't see the need to do that. Is there a need to do that?
Absolutely. Why are you not looking good for me? If I'm the most important person in the world to you, why am I not getting your best?
You have a point. But we're at home. We're at home. It's just you and I.
Yeah, and I'm the most important person in the world.
We don't get your best at home.
You don't get our best. I see Janine throwing some words from the penny section over there. You don't get our best at home. And so here, let's have that conversation. How do we make sure that we're giving our best to each other? Right? Because here's the thing. Part of that attraction, part of that pull, part of that draw, part of that connection, part of that desire comes from seeing you desirable. Because if you're being desirable for your co-workers, then you're unearthing desire in them, and then when you come home and look like an old lady, then desire is falling with me. So how do we fix that? And to your point, you're right. As men, we also need to put in some work too to make sure that, hey, that beer belly not coming in, and we just put on some old clothes and walk around.
Yeah, and you're not dung in your mouth for your mustache and all of these lovely things.
Because you need some desire for us as well. Sure, you can do your duty as a woman and make sure that, hey, because it's a need, you're going to do what needs to be done. But you want some help. And as men, we need to start making sure that help is provided, making sure that we look good, making sure that we smell good, making sure that we're putting our best so that when you come home too.
Yeah. And I'm here thinking about it. I'm like, why don't we actually do that? Why don't we put our best when we're at home? Because I have household clothes that we wear, lingerie that women wear, and I've never worn these. Like, I don't put them on. I buy them, but I don't put them on. And why don't I put them on? I'm just here thinking, like, why don't I dress up or put my best face when I'm home? Why don't I do that? I don't know why I don't do that, actually. Come to think of it. And I can, but why don't I? Isn't that I don't have the energy? Am I too tired? I don't know.
You have the clothes.
Yeah, I have them. It's not like I don't have it. So I really don't know.
So even as you unpack that, think about this then. So how does that man feel? Especially since he knows that you have them.
A lot of times he's like, he's drilling me to put them on. A lot of times. Sometimes I'll put them on and just model around or whatever when it's requested. And when it's requested by him. But if not, then it's forgotten that they're there.
Then why do I keep having to tell you that I'm hungry?
Why
do I have to
right?
keep telling you to put some food on the stove?
True. So true.
How do you think that feels for me to say you need to tell you that you have to look good for me?
Yeah, when you don't have to tell me that you're hungry to prepare some food because you need to eat. It
feels like you're not interested.
You have a point. You have a point
for
here.
Granted.
No, I'm not. It's just, I guess it's not realizing. It's feeling as if you have your partner at home and you already have that person. So why? Because I remember when my partner and I first started dating, I always try to look my best. Always try to smell my best. Always. I know it's just me.
Meh. But guess what? He'll see you putting on your nice perfumes and picking out your nice outfit to go out to work.
Yeah. Like the other day, I was getting ready to go on the road on my day off. And I'm not one who normally just put my best on to come in the town or whatever unless it's a special occasion. I actually dressed my best. And I got the side eye like... Wait, why are you...
Exactly.
Like,
who you dressing up
yeah,
for?
like, why? And I just wanted to feel good that day going out on the road. I just wanted to feel like I was looking my best. But I got the side eye.
Exactly. Mikey, they're asking for who? Because
Yeah.
if you're not putting on the clothes that you bought for me, but you're putting on your best so you can feel good to go out there.
Yeah,
For who?
yeah. And
So-
for yourself. I mean, most
No,
of the time.
no. See, we keep coming to this part of the conversation. I do it for myself. No.
We don't do it for ourselves.
No. I mean, certainly in your head you might think that you're doing it for yourself, but you do it. But if you were doing it for yourself, you could do it in the house.
Yeah, I feel good in the house.
But if you're going out and you're doing it because you
Right.
like the attention you get when you look good on the street.
Yeah.
Some men whistle to you. Some women look at you and say, "Wow, I wish I look as good as her." All of these things make you feel good.
Yeah.
So you want to do it for the attention, but why are you trying to get other people's attention and not mine?
Yeah, and affirmation is always good. So you have a point. I'm not gonna dispute as to what you're saying. You have a very valid point.
I hear Janine wincing in the back that you're agreeing with me and thinking.
No, but the thing is that I'm not biased when I'm not a very biased person when I'm talking. I try to see it from the other person's standpoint as well. And as I said, if I agree with you, then I agree with you. I'm not biased when it comes to...
And so you understand it's a need for men. You understand that even though you've been guilty of some of these things, you can recognize the challenges that it may place on the relationship.
Yes,
Because
it does.
if every time I look at you and you're putting on your best, going out the street, and then you come home and you're just giving me, like you said, meh, it might start to feel like you're doing it for somebody else and you don't care about how I feel.
Yeah.
And then that may also lead to the sympathy sex. You know, when you come in the bed, it's just the meh.
Yeah, and
as
these things
opposed
can
to
become...
spicing it up.
Yeah. And for the long haul, it can cause disruption in your relationship. So these are some things that I have to think about because I do these things quite a lot, Not for very long though, but I do them because I'm a very emotional person and sometimes emotions can get the best of us as women. It's not just me. Women are very emotional beings. So, and our emotion is what drives us to do whatever it is that we do sometimes.
So how do you bring those emotions into subjection, under control?
Subjection?
Yes, man. If your emotions are telling you, you need to be mad at the man, you need to bring them into subjection so that you can know, okay, fine, that's not going to help us. Because emotions can lead you astray.
True.
You feel like you need to be upset, you feel like you need to, but then doing that can cause problems.
Yeah, and a lot of time we have to stop and think because, as I said, the emotions cause us to do things that we don't really want to do. And then afterwards, we're sorry that we did it.
There you go.
So, at the time, and I try, the stop and count to 10 thing might sound cliche or whatever, but it does work. When you stop and think, stop and choose your words and all of that, it does help in every single way. So if you stop and think about whatever it is that you're doing, of course it might change the situation or change whatever reaction you might have, or using your weapon, right? You might not use your weapon, which we draw for so often as women.
Don't let a temporary feeling cause you to create a permanent problem.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Madam Produce?
With the person that you love.
Because he's the
What's
one you
cute to him? Now, negligees and all of that wonderful stuff isn't what every man wants all the time. Some people like it nice, cute, and relaxed. Some cute little boy shorts. A gown that's form-fitting. Wife beater and some shorts. Your primary person to be cute for is not the ladies out on the street. It's your man at home. That's the person that you're supposed to be cute for. So therefore, when you're cute for him, he's looking at you, you're looking at him. That keeps away and helps with the sympathy sex. Now he desires you, so that helps with your emotions and wanting to give it to him. keep the sympathy sex, ladies. It's not something you want to do.
All right, and we pause there. And so here, and this might be maybe a personal question, so let me know in terms of, but it helps us to unpack a thing that I think is a great challenge in our relationships. Do you know what your man actually finds attractive?
Yeah, I do. I do know what my partner finds attractive. And we we for me sometimes we even use that too as our weapon as well. Knowing that our partner finds something attractive, we emphasize on that and then still not give our partner any sex. Doing this to get them aroused or excited, and then bring them on a high and then drop them on a low, bust them head.
It's getting dangerous, man. Not just drawing weapons, but actually wounding and hurting.
So, yeah, I know what my partner likes, what he likes to see, and I guess I don't do it as much as we should in our relationship to keep our relationship afloat or as exciting as we would always want our relationship to be. Of course, we have our days or up and down days, so we're not going to always be into all of that. But
why not?
Because, we're human beings. We're not going to always have happy days. We're not going to always have a fulfilled day. So
you meaning giving him what he wants is you can only do that if you've had a happy day?
I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying.
Help me to understand.
I'm not saying because I am one who tries. I always say I just one of them day. That's my saying. I just one of them day, right? But we have to understand. Men have to understand women as well too, because it's not just about what you want to. We have feelings too. We feel stuff. With, as you just said earlier, when our head might hurt us, we might be tired. We have the kids or whatever. So why don't you guys sympathize with us in regards to that and say, oh, she might be tired, and even though I want some sex, I'm just going to leave it alone because she's tired.
Okay. So let's see if we can unpack that a little bit, right? Part of the relationship dynamics is set up in this way. Before did you go searching for him or did he come searching for you?
My partner? We met in a...
No.
He came searching for me.
Okay. No, girl. He came searching for you, which means when he presented himself, you had to go, okay, fine, does he check the boxes?
Yes. Yeah.
And if he checked the boxes, then you'd say, okay, fine, you give him the number, and then guess what? After you give him the number, then he has to call you, and then put in the time, put in the lyrics, put in the words in order to get you engaged.
Yeah.
So in order for him to do that, he had to first understand what you found attractive and present that. And then he had to stimulate conversation and get the things going.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't that be him putting in a ton of work in the beginning?
So it's only in the beginning?
No. Just that.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes.
He had to put in a ton of work just so that the relationship could happen any at all. So why is it that now that he's put in all that work? Because remember, you didn't have to do anything. You just stood there and looked pretty.
Why is it that?
Yeah, you just stood there and looked pretty. And so he had to present himself because I'm sure there are probably some other persons who presented themselves and they didn't check the boxes, so you just X them off.
Yeah, of course.
So he had to surpass all of those people.
Yeah.
And the things that he had to be able to present didn't come easy.
Yeah.
So for instance, you like a man who provides, right?
Yes.
So money not easy to make.
No, it's not.
So he has to work hard so that he can have enough money so that he can make sure that your needs are covered.
Yeah.
So that means even though he's still working, so it's not just the working with you, he has to be working on the street to make sure that you have what you need. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. The hard yes. Because at the end of the day,
when you say hard,
it's a hard yes.
Okay, good.
It's a hard yes because I'm not in complete agreement with you.
Why?
Because yes, a man is a provider and all of that stuff, But a man doesn't provide 100%. Men doesn't. You don't. I mean, for me, I don't want my man to just be providing.
You want to help
And
too.
of course, this is a partnership.
No, it's not a partnership, but we keep going.
It's not,
Because,
it's
listen,
not a partnership.
if it's a partnership, then when you go out, he say, hey, baby, we're going to split this check 50-50. You want that?
Then me pay for it sometime too. It's not 50-50, but there are times when we go, I'll pay, and there are times when you pay.
Who pays most of the time?
Of course, I'm gonna pay most of the time.
Okay, there's that. All right, let's explore that idea of the partnership. What if you and him laying down in the bed and you hear a knocking on the door, some bad men want to come in and do the thing? What do you expect there?
Do what thing?
Come in, rub the holes.
He must go to the door,
That's
like
the partnership. That's his job. It's not okay. What if he turned around to you and say, "Baby, I took care of the last bad people. This is your turn."
Remember, alright, men have this thing to say.
Okay.
They're physically strong, so that alone within itself says you're the one who has to go to the door because your physical strength.
Absolutely. So that means we're not partners then.
So we're not partners.
No.
What are we? What are we?
See, you expect things from me.
Just like you're expecting things from me, I might not be able to give you the same things that you're giving me, but I'm giving you things as well.
Yes.
So it's a partnership.
Good. So, but we're not 50-50. 50-50 says we
My
bring
boyfriend
in.
would say it's 20-80.
Okay.
And that's ridiculous. We always have that conversation. Like, it's not 20-80, love.
It's not 20.
No.
All right, let's look at it. So when the bad people come in and I have to go and do it all the times, that means I can die, right? But guess what? If I shy away from that, you're like, oh, what can I eat that now? So that means I have to always be ready to defend you with my life.
He's having a ball right now listening to this. Like, he's just having a ball. You hear what I say? He said it's like 80-20, you know. Men have 80 while women have 20, you know. And I think that's just ridiculous.
But
if you guys had said 60-40, I could understand.
But if we've talked about when it comes to the provision, he has to take the bigger, even if you do contribute, he still has the bigger responsibility. That's one. If you know that when it comes to the defending of life and property, he has 100% right there.
Yeah, but there's so much that we bring to the table as women too.
So tell me.
Because remember, we have to carry your kids. We carry these things.
Yes, man, absolutely.
Yeah, there's so much that we give.
How many kids can you bring in a year?
In a year, I can 3.
1. Well, maybe if you do triplets, right? But guess what? When you're carrying the kids, that means the responsibility that we have becomes even higher. So while you're doing your thing, that means we have to even step
but
up
our
more.
risk becomes even higher because we can die within childbirth. You know that, right?
Absolutely.
So, of
and
course.
then we recognize that and we cherish that and we celebrate that. But that means that to make sure that you don't die, I even have to provide even more.
I shoot down.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything away from you because that is the whole purpose. In order to make sure that we have a family, we have legacy, and so we appreciate you bringing that to the table. But I want you to be able to appreciate that when you're providing that for a man, he doesn't go, okay, fine, you're doing your part, now I can relax. No. Because if he did that, then you start wondering.
Yeah, like, what kind of man this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the more you give, it means that he has to give even more.
There's more to expect. So you win.
Right? And so and here's the thing here. This is not a you win to the fact that we want you to say, hey, you do more. We have no problem.
Of course
we
not.
have absolutely no problem as men doing more because that is the job.
Yeah.
What we're looking for, expecting here is a recognition.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Encouragement,
Sweet labor.
So when you recognize that he's actually putting in that work for you willingly, sometimes even without thanks, then you get to that place where it's a little bit easier to do some of these things that we've talked about tonight, because you understand that every day that man goes out, he goes out to kill it. He goes out to job, breaking his back, doing a whole bunch of things, not because he just wants to do that, but because he gets a chance to come home and take care of you. He gets a chance to make sure that the bills are paid. The roof is there to protect you and the children, so that you don't have to worry about that.
I guess because in society now a lot of women are providers too. It kind of it breaks the margin there.
Yes.
Because a lot of women are providers, and they go out and they work and they do as much as the men do, just the same, and put as much to the table as a man will bring to the table financially, because we can't talk about physical strength and all of that stuff. And so I guess that's where the conflict comes in regards to that, because women are going out there equal, just as equal as men.
So do you want to do that though?
Of course not. Not really. If I could just lay down and not do anything and just everything being provided for me, and I just be this stay-at-home person and just take care of the household and your sexual needs and our kids and the food, of course I would do that.
Okay. So and that's, I'm glad that you said that, because here's what we're looking at. You do have a lot of women who are going out and doing these things, and they're operating in a space where, like you don't actually want to operate in that space. You don't want to be the one pushing and drawing and trying to make the money.
Yeah.
Right? And the world has told us a lie where this is concerned. It's told you that you have to. But what if there was even more power in you being able to stay home and provide for his needs, so he could work 4 times as hard when he goes out?
Yeah, but if that was the case, then... But that isn't the case.
Why is it not the case?
Because I haven't seen that being proven in any case.
And here's the thing. What if it's not being proven because in the back of your head you're still figuring out that, hey, you still have to do all of these things, and so you're not actually, like she's saying, giving him the love and the attention and the care that he needs to be able to accomplish more?
I don't know what to say to that, because I would have to see that I would have to see that happening first. And I guess it contradicts itself, because if you're not giving him as much for him to go out there, he's not gonna go out there to show you that this is possible. So I don't know how that would actually work out.
Fair enough. And here is where I talk to men and say, sometimes it may not necessarily be fair to ask women to have greater faith than us. Sometimes maybe we have to push a little bit harder to go out there and make some more money, so that we can offer you the gift of submission, offer you the gift of being able to relax and be able to let go. I mean, it can be a challenge for some people to go, if I don't contribute to the bills, I'm not going to feel like a whole person, or feel like I'm contributing. Is that something that you struggle with? Can you truly, because and this is the other side of the equation for men, they'll go out and push harder and make more, and then go, okay, fine, here, I do want you to stay home so that we can make sure that as we're building a family, the family is fully cared for. But then when that option is now presented to you, you go, but I still want to work. So
not in that case.
Why am I pushing myself that hard then?
I guess a lot of women experience with men being providers solely, they tend to abuse, and abuse the power.
That's a word that gets thrown around a lot. I don't like that word, because with that word we've tried to call a whole bunch of things abuse. He gave you $1,000 instead of $1,500. He's abusing you.
No. Like for example, and you use the word submission. I don't really love that word. I'm not a lover of being submissive.
Story
right
time.
And I guess
why?
Because I mean, it just sounds like there's a whip over my back. I don't know why, but that's how it feels when it comes across, when you say when a man wants a woman to be submissive. Like, what is submission? What do you want? When it's time to go to my bed, I just get up and I go to my bed. What is submission?
That's a great question, and I love that you answered that. And I love that you framed it how you did, because you're saying as soon as the word is mentioned, you automatically got this picture of a whip over your back. Where did you get that image from?
I don't know, actually. I don't know where it came from.
And for the same for many women, because we're having a conversation this weekend with some women, and that seems to be the same picture that keeps coming up. But I can categorically say that no man believes that. No man actually needs you to be his helper or needs you to be his slave, right? And submission from the male perspective is actually a gift. The gift of being able to provide for you, to protect you, to take care of you. Just like you said, and you said it at the beginning of the show, he takes pride in knowing that he's taking care of your needs.
Yeah.
And that's what submission is for men. To be able to, I know I can take care of all of these things, and my wife, my partner, my person looks to me for these things.
Okay.
So it's not that she needs to do them herself. She trusts me enough to look to me for those things. That's what submission is for men. You know?
Okay. Okay.
So as simple as he wants to open the car door for you.
Yeah.
Right? But if every time he comes around to open the door for you, you've
already
already opened
opened
it for yourself,
Yeah.
then that's the absence of submission.
Yeah.
Because in that moment, you're telling him, I don't need you, I can do it myself.
Yeah, but when a lot of women are going out there and providing for themselves or providing for the household, then how does submission come in?
But you don't want it. You don't want to do that. So as a matter of fact,
I guess it's our perspective
no,
of...
hold on one second. That makes it even worse. Because you're doing something, you're putting yourself in a position that you don't want to be, doing something that you don't want to do. Why? Why are you doing that? So that you can take away that gift from
I guess
me?
we don't want to be submissive because of our... I guess it's the way we think about, as I said earlier, the way when I heard the word, it's just like having a whip. And when we think about being submissive and we don't want to be submissive, then we take away that from men, as I said, opening the door for ourselves, because and I didn't look at it the way you put it across just now. And not allowing them to do that, then when they don't open it for us, then we complain and say, oh, you never opened the door for me. So it's very contradicting, because it and I guess it's our perception, is the way we look at it. Because if I was looking at submission the way you explain it just now, then it would be okay. I would be fine to be a submissive woman. It'd be okay for me if I looked at it that way. But I don't look at it that way. I've never seen it that way. I never viewed it like that.
So where is that image coming from? Because that's not coming from men. So where's that image coming from?
It is because a lot of men tend to think because they're providers or they're doing everything for a woman, they're supposed to just do as they're told, or whatever. So,
and again, that language says something, just like you said, it's conjuring up the whip, it's conjuring up that image of he's forcing you. But what I'm trying to say is that he's not doing that. So where's that image that keeps telling you? Because every time you play that record in your head, it tells you, don't submit, don't submit, don't submit.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being able to enjoy him opening the door for you, instead of enjoying him providing for you, instead of enjoying him protecting you. When he does these things, know that antenna goes up in your head. I wonder if him think he can control me. That pushes you out now to go out and make, and then both of you not enjoying the situation.
Yeah.
Which then also challenges you to go, rather than being able to appreciate him doing these things, you now have this negative image
and go against all of that.
So the man can't get any appreciation in his house. Imagine that.
Man. But I never thought of it like that, though. I never look at it that way.
And that's what I wanted to unpack in terms of being able to help women to appreciate what men are actually saying and what they want out of the relationship. Because again, from this, wherever that source is coming from, that same source is telling you that the man wants to take advantage of you, the man wants to control you, the man wants to put a whip over your back. But all the man wants, is for you to appreciate him. That man, when he feels appreciated, like I told you, will climb mountains, scale great walls, slay dragons, because that thing is what was placed in men to protect it, to take care of. All of these things it's in us to do it. It comes out automatically. But when when it meets appreciation, it gets multiplied.
Yeah. My partner, he's very sensitive as it regards to that, being a provider and all of that. If he feels like if he's not doing enough, it brings him down.
Yes.
It dampers his spirit if he feels like if he's not providing enough as a man. So again, I still have to look at it how you explain submission to me. And now I understand, like it gives me more understanding in regards to how he feels within that moment, feeling as if he's not providing enough as a man. So it's just it's causing me to think a lot right now.
And that's the invitation as we're talking to women to just kind of give some thought to, because it's not about you fixing something, or it's just being able to understand where the man is coming from, because most men live in a space where women don't understand what they're going through, women don't understand what they have to do, and even as you said it just now, he feels like if he's not providing, he's not doing enough.
And he says that a lot. You don't understand. Yeah.
And realize that when he says that, he's not wanting you to go out and bring some more money to the table. He just wants you to be able to appreciate the work that he's putting in.
Yeah.
And if you just pouring a little bit of appreciation on that, he wants to go out tomorrow and make even more. Because he knows that the one he's doing it for actually appreciates it.
Yeah. Makes sense. Does make sense.
Alright, so I think we've talked about all of the challenges. I think she has a recommendation, so maybe you might. What's your person's name? You want to share it, or?
Of course I would. It's me.
Yes, man. Load him up, man. You're proud of him.
Yes, Red baby. I know you're watching because I told you to. And
Alright.
yes.
Alright. So I think you're gonna like this part. So she has a wonderful suggestion. So let's roll it.
Now let's talk assignments. I've had some ladies that have went a week, 2 weeks. One girl had even went a month. Poor baby. And I know some people have gone even longer without giving their man any form of intimacy. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. What did I do? I told them that they needed to go on a sexathon. What's a sexathon? Get ready. So it's really simple. All you have to do is every day for the next 7 days, have intimacy with your man. Sex. 7 days, every day. And if you have enough time, do it twice a day. Now, if you haven't done it in a long time, you're gonna shock him. He's not even gonna know what's going on. He's definitely gonna think it's a trick there. But what it's going to do is it's gonna help bring your connection back. It's gonna help relax him and get you all back connected. I had a couple, the husband called me and told me, "Thank you, Maddie." He needed it. I talked to her, their relationship was 100 times better because she just chose to share herself with her husband, the man that she committed to love all her life, that she had been mad at, and I'm not going to do anything, which wasn't helping her at all. So that's your assignment, ladies. If you love your man, you want to keep your man, you want to fix your relationship. Trust me, he's seen this video and he is agreeing with me 1,000%. Go on a sexathon and then email me and tell me what happened. I've never gotten a response that it didn't work.
All right. So what did you think about the assignment there?
I mean, that's a good assignment. It's not a very hard one for me. A sexathon is what I do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, my partner and I have a very good, intimate relationship. Because, as you say, I understand for them sex is a need. So, if I go a day, I'm not going 2 days. Yeah, so sexathon is something good for women to have with their men. I think I believe in that too. I believe it's something that will help in whichever case, yeah.
And so you are then thinking, because it's not easy, hard for you, you're thinking of going the double twice a day.
Yeah, I do that sometimes too.
For 7 days.
I've never done the 7 days, but I'm gonna try it. I'm definitely gonna try and see what it does. If it has an impact.
All right.
Yeah.
So what did you think about our conversation today? Because right now, as we kind of wrap up, what are your thoughts on all the things that we've talked about?
I mean, it definitely brought awareness to a lot of things that we do as women. Because as I said, we do things that we don't realize that we're doing. So it caused me to reflect on a lot of things that I might have done in the past with my relationship. And it's causing me to think a lot about that submission, being a submissive woman. So it's definitely it's gonna cause me to think about that a lot, because I've always, felt like I had, if I'm going to be a submissive woman, it's a whip over my back and I'm gonna be controlled or whatever the case may be. So I'm definitely gonna try to show more appreciation, as you said, to my partner and see where that leads.
And see where it leads. And that's a good place to start. To start with the trust, to start with the open-mindedness, to see, okay, fine, I'm going to try it, see where it goes, and just allow the process to work. Because you mentioned control, what does control look like for you?
Doing something that I don't want to do it in the moment, and they're forcing me to do it.
Okay, but what if that is necessary, though?
I mean, if it's necessary, then I can understand.
So, for instance,
I'm a very understanding person.
The man's job is to protect you.
Yeah.
Right. And hey, something's going on in Georgetown, and you want to go down to Georgetown, and the man is like, "No, we're not doing that."
I go vex, but I'm not gonna go.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go. I might feel some kind of way, but I'm not going. Cause me going, then it's gonna cause some animosity because you told me not to go, and I don't want that, so I'm not gonna go. So I'm not gonna go.
So what about your girlfriends? He may have some girl. Women don't like to admit this, but women sabotage each other's relationships.
What?
Women sabotage each other's relationships. You have some single girlfriends who they're miserable by themselves.
Yeah.
And because they're miserable by, every time you tell them that, hey, you and dude having a problem, their first response, well, left the boy.
Yeah. No, nobody can. No, I'm not that person. I don't have friends where I share whatever issue I might have with my partner. Whatever issue I have with my partner is for us to resolve. I don't go there telling my friends my personal issues with my partner.
Okay, so
because
that's not one
as you said, they'll influence you as to think. Because right now in that moment, I might be upset and I'm telling you something, and you're telling me to leave my boyfriend. No, so I don't do that.
Okay, so that's
It's
not
not very healthy.
So
no.
he won't have to tell you that, hey, you see Karen, I don't trust her.
No,
leave her out.
no.
One that we talked about a couple of weeks ago is sometimes when you make those phone calls, right, you don't know where he is, and you maybe you're trying to prepare some dinner or do something special, and you know some women might find themselves calling, where then?
No, my boyfriend has this thing. I used to call more than one time. If I call him one time, he'll say, one time, you need to call me one time. If I see the call, I'll answer you. And if I don't see the call, that means I missed the call. And once I see it, I'll call you back. And I only call one time now. And whenever he missed my call, he calls me right back. So if I call him one time and I don't get him, I don't think like, what is he doing or where he's at or anything like that. My brain doesn't run wild. We have that level of trust for each other where I don't have to.
And he set that boundary.
Yes.
Don't call me 3 times.
Yeah, and I don't. I don't
respect
do it.
right off the bat.
Yeah.
Lovely. Appreciate it. And so another thing that sometimes women tend to see as control might be him going, hey, guy friends. You have too much man friend around you.
I as you know, I'm a cosmetologist, and most of my clientele is males. They have a lot of male clientele. So my boyfriend is not one to have an issue with me having male friends or male calling me or anything like that. Because I set that where I've earned whatever trust I've gotten from my boyfriend. And these things are something that you earn. Right? And if I've earned, then I have no need to constantly be assuring you. Right? Because I've already set that.
Because you've also set that boundary with those men to go,
yes.
Just like you're able to call his name on the show. Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It has been truly a pleasure having this conversation with you to share some of these things. Here's what I get a chance to do. I see a brand on your chest. How do people connect? You said you're a cosmetologist. So talk to some customers who might want to benefit from your services. What are some of the things that you do?
I'm a natural hair specialist. We specialize in natural hair. You know, we're embracing, especially as Black women, or natural hair. Kinky, as you see, my hair is how it is now. We specialize in the treatments, length retention, and all of that. If you have natural hair and want to see it healthy and flourishing with your kinky hair, that's what we do there. No chemical base, and we're located next to Logix off Eastern Avenue.
Okay. And who are we?
New Growth Naturals. We're at New Growth Naturals. You can get to us at newgrowthnaturals.com. I'm Jody, and we're a team of 4. So when you come, you can ask for Jody, Sam, Nikita, or Chantel. We will be there. And
how can they reach you besides the website? Can they call you? How do they?
Yes, you can. I'm going to leave my contact number, which is 546. I forgot my number. Is that?
Take your time. I don't call myself often as well.
So I'm going to use the area code 1345-546-9284. And that's Jody.
Jody at New Growth
Naturals.
Jody, it has been a pleasure. And your boyfriend's name again? Your person's
Reggie.
name? Reggie.
Yes,
I'm
Reggie
sure
Manning.
he's enjoyed how you've represented yourself and represented him
Yes.
here this evening. And that's one of the things that women don't always appreciate in terms of what you do, what you say, how you present yourself reflects on the man in your life.
Of course it does.
Right? And that either brings him more respect in the community
Or cause him to lose respect.
And so once you understand that, then, and you conduct yourself in a way that brings him respect, listen, he wants to do even more for you. He wants to bless you. He wants to take care of you. He wants to do all of those things for you even more. And I'm sure he's just going to make sure you're happy tonight.
Yes, most definitely.
So thank you again for coming out. Thank you for spending this time with us, and we appreciate you.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. This has been the Wrecking Trade. I'm Robert Lynch. So remember, these things that we've talked about today, sex is not a weapon, so stop doing it. The man actually needs it. It helps him to be better for you. And so when he's better, when you put in that energy to make him better, then the situation gets better, the relationship gets better. And men, we have to do our part as well to make sure that that situation gets to be, we are both flowing into each other, we are growing together and growing stronger, so that there's power in our relationship, there's power in our situation as we build our families and as we stand up in the community as men. Masculinity, accountability, and responsibility. That's the mantra right here on the Wrecking Trade. This has been another awesome conversation. Until next time.
Welcome to The Wrecking Trade, the radio show that provides a platform for a deeper understanding of issues affecting men in the Cayman Islands. Join us as we explore the low enrollment of men and boys in college classrooms, the absence of men in the church, and the absence of fathers in the home. Join the conversation as we help men find their place in the modern world. Through engaging interviews with experts and members of the community, we provide a clear picture of what healthy masculinity looks like